traveler in Paimon? I'm sorry. I hope I didn't scare you.
Oh, no, you didn't scare us. Just gave us a little surprise. Looks like you've gotten even more powerful now.
I don't know. It just feels like it's gotten harder to control. I didn't mean to strike so hard. I'm so relieved you didn't get hurt.
It's all good. We've had worse.
No, don't worry about that. It's been very stable ever since I got this body. Albedo made sure of that. What you saw just now is something that only started happening recently. Maybe I'm still acclimating or something. I'm sure it'll clear up over time. Anyway, what brings you here? Did you need something?
Well...
The day that the writer and the watcher crossed paths was the day that the magic known as storytelling was born.
So, she asked us to come.
Miss Alice?
Oh, you too? I guess I really do need to work on my impression. Well, never mind that. It's been too long, Mini Durin. And please, that's Aunt Alice to you. I have brought you and the traveler together here for a very important purpose. It has to do with your mom.
My mom?
Indeed, fairy tale author extraordinaire, Anya Marie Andersdottir. See, I knew this would be right up your alley. Now then, if you'll open the book, I will begin narrating.
Whoa! What is this place? It reminds Paimon of Simulanka.
The two are indeed similar. Both worlds were built using the same magic, after all.
Aha! So it is Alice!
Hello, Aunt Alice?
Oh, no need to be shy. Just think of me as one of your mother's dearest friends.
You keep talking about stories and magic. What's this all about? Simulanka 2.0 or something?
Certainly not. Simulanka was a peerless masterpiece. Without the original author, it would be impossible to create a sequel, even for me. But you are right about one thing. Just like last time, I want to show you a work of magic that has to do with storytelling.
What's this?
This is your mother's dying wish.
My mother's dying wish was a book?
Let me answer that with a question. What do you suppose would be a writer's greatest regret? Have you ever read a book called The Little Witch and the Undying Fire? Oh, that's because it was the work of more than one person. It began as a little game at our tea parties. Each of us took turns writing the next part of the story. I wrote the first volume, then the other mages took their turns. Em was tasked with writing the final volume and tying everything up. But by the time everyone had finished writing their parts, Em had passed away. Oh, it was a terrible shame. A true tragedy. And that is the answer to my question. A writer's greatest regret is to leave a story unfinished. But all is not lost. I couldn't stand the doom and gloom of it all, so I went ahead and wrote an ending myself on her behalf.
Then what's this book?
This is the answer your mother gave to the same question. In her eyes, this was her greatest regret. She made me promise that I would bring it to you because she believed the only person who could resolve this regret is you.
So my mother's greatest regret is another unfinished story?
You could say that.
And I guess resolving the regret means finishing the story?
That's one way to put it.
Oh, is a straight answer too much to ask for?
Her answer was quite the opposite of what I'd expected. But oh, how touching it was. I'd love to tell you what she said, I really would. But that would spoil the plot, and we can't have that. Spoilers ruin everything.
Oh.
Just think of this task as giving a story a much-needed ending. All I ask is that you do your best.
I understand. But I only just started learning human script, and I don't have any writing experience at all.
Relax. Why else do you think your dear aunt went and found you two such wonderful helpers? With their experience, you'll have so many story ideas you won't know what to do with them. So don't be shy to ask lots of questions.
Yeah. If it's to help Durin fulfill his mother's dying wish, then we're in.
Aunt Alice, could I ask, what kind of story was my mother hoping to write?
I had a feeling this might come up, but that answer isn't mine to give. You'll have to find it yourself, here inside this book.
Don't worry. We'll help you come up with loads of ideas. Yeah, let's find a nice spot where we can settle in and read through this thing. We could even get some snacks, too.
Oh, the actual process might not be quite the walk in the park you're imagining, Paimon.
Why's that?
Because when Em created this book, she borrowed my magic. In other words, it's not a book you can just pick up and read. It's a magical book. Its chapters are scattered through memories of the past. Gather them all, and the book will show you its secrets.
So, where are we supposed to find these memories?
Em left a trail of clues for each unfinished chapter. Follow the hints, and you'll find them. Oh, and when it comes to adding to the story yourselves, you'll need to use this.
And this is...
This, my dear little Paimon, is the ink Em left behind. Infused with a little of my own magic, of course. If you're planning on writing something inside the book, you'll need it. It's extremely precious, so be sure to use it sparingly. This is all that's left.
So we need to search for the memories and keep an eye on how much ink we're using.
Oh, it just had to be a wild goose chase, didn't it?
Perhaps it's just another form of storytelling. Em was ever so creative when it came to things like that. Just think of it as a little challenge your mom left behind. Who knows? There could even be a mysterious prize at the end of it all.
I don't care about that. This was my mother's dying wish. Whatever it takes, I'll find a way.
Yep. With the two of us by your side, you'll be just fine.
Okie dokie. That should be pretty much all you need to know. Oh, and once the story's complete, do let me have a little look-see, okay? I've read everything she ever wrote, so naturally, I can't miss this one.
Yeah. Most of the time, you're pretty hard to pin down.
Don't worry, I'll know when you're finished. Just wait for me to reach out. All right, off you go. I can't wait to hear how the story ends.
Oh, here we are again. Alice's magic really is incredible, huh? Right. Alice mentioned we should be on the lookout for clues. Huh?
A corner of repose for countless tales, watched over by the honor of knights. A place for stories to sleep, perchance to dream of ancient cities and the epics of ages past. There, a witch once spent a sleepless night, and all to bring forth a story yet untold. Find the place I speak of, for it is where the seeds of this story lie.
Was that a riddle? Where do you think this mysterious place could be? Hey, you might actually be onto something. Guess that means we need to head back to Mondstadt?
I had a feeling that's where we would be headed. After all, it's where my mother was from, and I bet it's where she wrote this story, too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Still, I feel bad about dragging the two of you along on such a long journey.
Don't worry about it. We don't really have much going on right now, so we're all yours. Come on, let's go! Back in the Mondstadt Library, huh? Talk about a trip down memory lane.
So, we're supposed to find the seeds of the story, right? What do you think that means?
Well, we're in a library, so it's gotta be books, right? But seriously, there's so many here. How are we supposed to know which ones we need?
Making a racket in a library? You should know better than that.
Lisa! Oh, sorry about that.
Now, who do we have here? Ah, my golden-haired cutie. And my little horn cutie, too.
Sorry, Miss Lisa. I know you taught me to be quiet in the library, but Paimon was just trying to help. Please don't be too hard on her.
Well, it has been far too long since we saw each other, so I suppose I can let it slide just this once. Back when he first arrived here, poor Jean wasn't sure what to do with him, so I stepped in to lend a hand. I figured, if I can handle a boy raised by wolves, then teaching one who's part dragon should be a walk in the park.
Nice! Sounds like Durin was welcomed with open arms.
Why, of course. Now, let's save the reminiscing for another time. I'm sure you're here for a reason. Did you need to borrow some books?
It's kind of hard to explain. Maybe you could take a look at this.
Oh? Ah, I see. These so-called seeds of the story must be the books that inspired its creation. That's just how it is with stories. They grow out of the tales that came before them. And that mage, I can almost picture her here, hundreds of years ago, scribbling away at one of these very desks.
But we don't know anything about this story. How are we supposed to figure out which books inspired it?
As it happens, just before I found you here, I was looking into something rather peculiar. One of the knights reported seeing some books that weren't listed anywhere in our catalog. Stranger still, just as he went to reach out for them, the books vanished into thin air. And then a while later, while he was browsing through other shelves, there they were again.
Seriously?
That particular knight knows this library inside and out. I'd be very surprised if he was seeing things. Something tells me these might just be the magical books you're after. According to the report, there are 3 of these books in total. I'll be relying on you to track them down, cuties. Well, did you manage to find them? Truly extraordinary, and certainly not the kind of thing that should be just lying around. In fact, Miss Alice gave strict instructions about it.
So, it's some kind of book of spells? Paimon's guessing magic this powerful should be kept a secret.
It's true. This book does contain one of Miss Alice's spells,
But honestly, virtually no one could actually pull it off, even if they tried. The only reason it's even meant to be in the restricted section is because we can't let Klee get her hands on it. After Klee was born, Miss Alice advised us to seal it away. She even added that little subtitle herself.
So, it's to keep it away from Klee, huh? Does that mean she could use it to cause even more mayhem than she already does with Jumpy Dumpty?
No, that's not it. As Miss Alice herself put it, letting Klee see it too early would spoil the surprise. Well, did you manage to find them? This book definitely doesn't belong here.
Yeah, we can tell just from reading the title.
Albedo was the one who brought it in. He suggested I place it on the restricted list and keep it sealed away.
Why?
He said it's full of forbidden alchemical formulas, some of which could even result in the creation of dangerous monsters. Apparently, the danger it posed was so great, he didn't even feel like it was safe to carry around or keep it in his workshop.
Really? Definitely sounds like it shouldn't be here then.
Still, if that mage read this book too, it must have been written a lot earlier than I'd imagined. Well, did you manage to find them? Yes, this is a restricted book, all right. It certainly isn't supposed to be here.
Huh. But it looks like a regular poetry collection. How did it end up being classified as a restricted book?
The issue lies with one of the poems inside. You've heard of the great battle that took place on Dragonspine, yes? 500 years ago, during the cataclysm in Conria, an evil dragon descended upon Mondstadt. A fierce battle with Dvalin ensued, but in the end, the evil dragon fell, and Dragonspine became its resting place.
You're talking about Durin. The Durin of Dragonspine.
Well, the poem in question turns the whole battle into a dance, with the evil dragon recast as an innocent child who came here in search of friends. But given all the suffering experienced at the claws of that dragon, how could the people of Mondstadt accept such a retelling? Bards are often accused of inventing history or distorting the truth in their ballads. But this one hit a bit too close to home. And since the knights back then were unable to track down the author, they decided to ban the entire collection, blot out the title, and seal it away for good.
So the version in the poem, it was all a lie?
I'm afraid that question is something only the dragon himself could answer. Well, would you look at that? Seems like these are the little troublemakers you're after. And all three just so happen to be forbidden texts. What kind of story requires reference material like that, I wonder?
Forbidden texts? You know, the first time you mentioned that the library had a restricted section, I thought you were just trying to scare us. Are you saying it actually exists?
Not really something you should be poking your little nose into, is it, cutie?
Sorry.
Seeing as it was Miss Alice who asked you to look for these books, I won't question the matter. But they'll need to be sealed away again once you're done, so don't forget to return them.
Don't worry, Miss Lisa. I won't forget.
Well then, that's all from me. After all that hard work, I think I've earned myself a nice cup of tea.
All right, we've gathered all the reference books. What's next?
Wait, look!
Long, long ago, an evil dragon descended upon the human world, bringing terrible calamity in its wake. Bravely did the people resist, until at last, the dragon lay slain. Later, a witch with a love for stories came upon the tale of the evil dragon, and for reasons she could not explain, felt a pang of sorrow on its behalf. For she knew, despite its body being born of wicked alchemy, all along, the dragon's soul was that of an innocent child. Right up to the moment of its death, it had no choice in becoming a vessel of calamity, nor could it fathom the cruel fate that lay before it. Though the witch had a love of stories, she was not pleased with how this one ended. No, that won't do, she thought. I'll write you a better ending instead. And so she set off to do just that, borrowing a little magic from her friend. With it, she wove a dragon's egg, resolving to rear a dragon child of her own. Yet long in thought she lingered, wondering what kind of world her little dragon ought to behold upon waking. At last, she made her mind up, adorning the cradle with a wisp of woodland air. Then, she quietly waited for the egg to hatch.
Whoa! We're actually inside the story!
This must be Aunt Alice's magic.
Yeah.
A story about me?
Why don't we just see where the story takes us? All we know is the beginning at this point.
Okay.
And now a golden-haired traveler, a silvery sprite, and a dragon-born youth step onto the stage. What new chapter will their arrival bring?
Whoa! That came out of nowhere! Was that the same voice we heard just now? Yeah. But why does it sound so familiar?
I've missed this. It's just like the stories my mother used to tell me.
You mean... Em? She used to tell you stories?
Yeah, she loved it. Back when she was still alive. Sorry, we should focus on what we're here to do. So, now that we're in the story, what's next?
The dragon youth wondered aloud. Yet all he could do was wait for the story to unfold. Of course, there's something to be said for helping it along. Perhaps a little exploration could prove fruitful.
Oh! Is that a hint?
Yeah, I agree.
Look at all these books! Guessing the witch did a lot of reading while she was waiting for the egg to hatch.
It just so happened a dragon egg wasn't the only thing she was incubating here. Where else might a story be born, if not among books?
Oh! This Dodoko doll is meant to be the witch in the story, right? Wait a second. All the people we've seen that look like that turned out to be mages from the Hexen Circle. Do you think the witch in this story is one of them too?
My mother had a hat just like this.
Then, the witch must be Em! Looks like this story really is about Durin, huh?
Whether the sprite spoke true or not, it had little bearing on the story at hand. For in that moment, what mattered most was not that she was a witch, but a mother waiting for her child to hatch.
Let's keep looking.
This must be the dragon egg, right? Looks like it's gonna hatch any moment now. So we've got a dragon egg about to hatch, a witch who loves stories, and that evil dragon we heard about at the beginning. Yep, it all adds up.
This is my story, isn't it?
Okay, so how are we supposed to help the story along? It feels like all we can do right now is wait.
Apparently, it hadn't dawned on the group to look for a way to help the egg hatch faster.
Oh, right! We're at the point in the story where we're waiting for the baby dragon to hatch, so that has to happen before the story can continue.
With the flames at his command, perhaps the dragon youth might be able to provide the egg with sufficient warmth.
What? You want us to roast the dragon egg?
The silvery sprite's surprise betrayed her lack of reading, for in countless tales it is told that only by fire's embrace will a dragon's egg hatch swiftly.
Huh, you kinda have a point there.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
At last, under the witch's expectant gaze, the little dragon broke free from its shell. No living being has ever decided the moment of its birth. You were no exception, my child. I brought you into being because I willed it so, just like the witch who created that evil dragon. But I promise you this. Your birth was wanted. You are loved, and you will have a different fate than the dragon that came before you.
You've never told me those things before, but for some reason, I always knew. Thank you for bringing me into this world.
The waiting witch did not feel lonely, for she had 3 visitors by her side. Together, they beheld the hatchling's first breath of life. Holding her dragon child close, the witch promised him a life unlike that of the evil dragon. And so, nestled in his mother's warm embrace, did the little dragon's story begin.
Wait, isn't this Mondstadt? Looks like we're back in the real world. Looks like there's more written on the page now and less ink left than before. So, does that mean we've completed this chapter? Yeah, but why does M seem to think that the story isn't finished yet? Durin broke free from the curse, came into this world with a new body, and even made a bunch of new friends. That already sounds like a happy ending to Paimon. True. Everything's always so mysterious with these mages. Guess all we can do is wait for more clues.
Huh.
Is this thing on? All right, that should do it.
Hey, that's Alice's voice.
Hello there, children. If you're hearing this, you've stumbled upon the little recording I left for you. I thought you could use a few hints about how the book works. By now, I'm guessing you've already begun to leave your mark on the story. You should know, however, that the book needs time to absorb the ink, so the next chapter's clues won't show up right away.
Wait, so even magic ink needs time to dry?
The good news is, you can return to any chapter you've already completed and continue to explore the mystical, magical storybook world you helped create. Have fun, dearies. Toodles!
Oh, man! Paimon was so ready to knock this out in one go!
Maybe it's for the best. Sooner or later, we'll end up being whisked off to another world again, and if that happens, who knows when we'll be able to come back. So it might be good to take a break while we can.
A break. Yeah! Paimon has a sudden craving for the Good Hunter's sticky honey roast. And we happen to be in Mondstadt, so...
So let's meet up here later. I need to find Miss Lisa to return those books anyway.
Hey, Durin! Any more clues for us? We're all set for the next chapter.
Yeah, I was just about to come find you. Let's see what it says.
Now sprout to life the story's seeds, stirred by wind-born melodies. Then on that breeze the music leaves, fading into distant memories. Seek the place where wind and tale entwine, and once there, make 3 riddles into verse, and 3 melodies into song. For in poetry and song will this story start to blossom.
Come on! Another riddle? All that talk about wind and melodies? What do you think the answer could be? Oh!
Care to elaborate?
Wind, music, poetry? Tone-deaf bards gotta know the answer.
You mean Lord Barbados? Albedo introduced us when I first arrived in Mondstadt. I mean, someone like me was bound to catch his eye sooner or later.
It's better that it's out in the open anyway. Now, how should we track him down?
I'm pretty sure he's already caught wind of what's going on here. Why don't we just see where the wind takes us?
Right. He definitely makes it easy to forget he's a real god sometimes.
Traveler, Paimon! What a sight for sore eyes! And the little dragon from the fairy tale world. I heard your voices calling out to me on the wind. Something about needing help with a riddle?
Sorry to disturb you, Lord Barbados.
Disturb me? Not at all! To tell you the truth, I'm just as curious about this riddle as you are. Let me take a look.
What is it? Did you figure out the answer?
3 riddles and 3 melodies. That sure takes me back. The answer you seek lies hidden in memory.
Looks like running to Tone-Deaf Bard was the right call after all.
Long ago, those mages came to Mondstadt, seeking to test their strength against mine. But I replied, let us make music, not war, and resolve our conflicts through song. So I strummed my lyre and sang them this verse. Oh wind, welcome now, my guests. Pass through verdant leaves unseen, where shape your formless self may take, and offer up a graceful scene, a fleeting gift for welcome's sake. Leap at the edge of a sea of clouds, where land meets sky and sky meets ground. There frighten off the noisy crowds and bring my guests a calm profound. Fly beneath the stars up high, where mortal noise is swept aside, that my dear guests with starry eyes may share the dreams they hold inside. Now go to where I vowed to keep a quiet spot for them to sleep. No clash, no contest bars the way, just tea and mirth to fill the day. There you have it, the 3 melodies, As for the answers to those 3 riddles, I trust you can guess them by now.
The woods, the edge of a cliff, and the sky?
Correct! Funnily enough, your mother was also the first to solve it, all that time ago. There must be some kind of special rapport between those who write stories and those who sing them.
The woods, a cliff, and the sky. Oh! So that's where it is!
I suppose the spot that answer points to is where you're headed next. You should know, after solving my riddle, the mages even accepted my proposal and made that location their official meeting spot. And going by what your book is suggesting, once you found it, you might want to try playing the melody I just shared with you.
Guess you can be pretty reliable when it counts, huh? Great Animo Archon?
Thanks for the help, Lord Barbados.
Still got questions for me, huh?
Yeah, you must have read countless tales in your time, being a wandering bard and all. In your experience, why might an author consider a story unfinished?
Unfinished? Well, I guess if there's something left to accomplish in the story, or, if the last line goes, "To be continued."
Huh?
Wow, your helpfulness lasted for like 1 second.
In all seriousness, I would think the answer to that question lies in your mother's story itself. It's not my place to pry any further.
All right then, we should get going.
Okay, we're here! Now, we just need to play the 3 melodies, and we should be able to gather the memories for the next chapter, right?
A musical performance? Huh. Out of all the things Miss Lisa has taught me, that's the one I'm worst at.
Even a war that shook the world could not halt the witches' gatherings. Yet even so, with the passing of time, 3 of their teacups no longer came to be set. The witches did not linger long in sorrow, for the story witch had brought glad tidings of her own. Born was her dragon child, safe and sound. Her fellow witches offered up their blessings, eagerly debating how to celebrate the child's birth. In the end, they settled on the sweetest candy they could find. After all, what could be sweeter than the arrival of new life? And so, the witches' gathering turned into a birthday celebration.
So, we're back in the story world, huh?
As if from nowhere, new guests appeared at the witches' table. Perhaps they too had come to celebrate the dragon child's birthday. Yet while everyone else was busy thinking about what kind of gift to offer, these 3 seemed to have come empty-handed. Hardly the recipe for a warm welcome to a birthday party, now is it?
A gift?
Hey, what's this all about? We only just found out this was a party!
While the guests voiced their complaints and grievances, perhaps they should have been wondering what kind of gift to give instead.
So, we need to bring a gift to advance the story? Ugh! Where are are we supposed to get something like that?
Perhaps it would be a good idea to have a look around.
Why didn't you just say so? Hey, is that the other Durin? Hey, Mini Durin! Nope, no reaction. Seriously, did he doze off at his own birthday party?
Brought to life by the witch's magic ink, the dragon child played with animated glee each time the tip of her pen danced across the page. Yet she could not spend all her time writing. For the upcoming witches' gathering, she had no choice but to set down her pen. But before doing so, she wrote one last line. So did the child drift off into blissful slumber.
Well, that's a bit convenient.
Strange. I don't remember ever being at any of the mages' gatherings. When exactly was this birthday party supposed to have happened?
No wonder you don't remember. From the looks of it, you were probably fast asleep at the time. Hey, could we use these as gifts, maybe?
At last, the guests found something to give the dragon child.
Guess that's a yes, then. Which one should we go for?
Still, the guests wondered, what kind of gift might the little dragon really want? Should they put a warrior's sword in his hand and send him out on an unstoppable quest to save the world? Or perhaps a wandering hero's slingshot and the promise of a life of endless, uncharted adventure? Or maybe even a scholar's tome and the chance to take on all the world's unsolved mysteries.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot of pressure all of a sudden. Oh yeah! Technically, we're actually picking a gift for you. So, which one would you prefer?
You want me to choose? Wow, this feels kinda special.
How come?
For as long as I can remember, I've spent most of my time living in the stories my mother created. I always thought my mother had everything written out for me already, just like the toy figures in Constellation Metropole. What I wanted to do with my own future. That's something I've never really thought about. What did I want back then? This is the first time I've ever asked myself that question.
Sounds like this is the perfect opportunity to answer it then. It's been a while since you left Simulanka, and after everything that's happened, it might be about time to start thinking about your future.
Then let me give it some thought.
In the end, the guests settled on the scholar's tome.
So you're the scholarly type, huh?
I just feel like I should learn more about the way the world works.
What makes you say that?
I'll give you an example. Did you know that in Mondstadt, using fire to catch fish is a punishable offense? I thought she was just teaching me regular hunting techniques. It was only after Master Jean caught me and sent me to solitary confinement that I realized I'd misread the situation. So much of what's considered common knowledge in your world just wasn't in Simulanka. So I have to learn, or I'll keep causing trouble for everyone else.
Paimon's not sure that counts as common knowledge. Alright, they should let us in now that we've got a gift, right?
Hello there. Brought a gift this time?
The newly arrived guest presented his gift, wishing the little dragon a future as a wise and accomplished scholar. Accepting the guest's blessing, the story witch invited him and his friends to take their place around the table. Finally, she could introduce them all to her dragon child, telling all in attendance about the moment of his hatching, and of course, the name he'd been given. It was then that the seer witch, diviner of the stars, withdrew her gaze from the heavens and turned a sorrowful glance upon the little dragon.
You gave him the same name as that evil dragon?
That's right. But the life I intend for him shall be very different.
What folly to love so blindly. For as you must know, a name is the mirror of destiny itself. He who bears an evil dragon's name must also inherit the fate of its previous owner. His fate has been foretold.
Then I'll rewrite it. The witches at the table fell silent, for they knew the seer witch's words had never once proven wrong. Yet, just as clearly, they recognized the story witch's resolve, for there is scarce a force in this world more fearsome than a mother's love. At last, the merry witch stepped forward, dispelling the uneasy silence.
So be it. Then we'll all lend a hand. Together, we shall rewrite this child's fate.
You mean to defy one of the fundamental rules of this world?
I refuse to be shackled by such rules. Besides, this is a witches' gathering, is it not? What could be more fitting a subject for this occasion than to defy them?
Oh? Sounds like an interesting experiment.
I suppose, were we to succeed in this endeavor, we might bring a touch of wonder to this otherwise dreary sky of stars.
The merry witch finally talked them all round, just like she had done many times before. Warm and strong as the sun she was, so much so, in fact, that those who her light shined down upon had no choice but to bask in it. And so the witches readied their gifts, 3 marvels of the cosmos.
For this child, I shall decipher the ravings of the heavens and lay bare before him the trickery of fate.
For this child, I shall leave a formula powerful enough to unravel the very origins of this world, that he may seek another solution for the conundrum of his life.
For this child, I shall call upon wondrous magic to make possible his impossible wish.
All the story witch had was the pen in her hand, yet with the love that flowed from it, she resolved to bring forth a marvel of her own. For this child, I shall leave behind the last story I will ever write, and with it, a path to an ending yet untold. With the witch's blessings given and received, the little dragon's fate at last began to turn. In the midst of the dragon child's birthday celebration, the seer witch proclaimed her prophecy. The child had been given the evil dragon's name, and with it, the burden of its fate. But hearing this, the story witch vowed to rewrite it all, for such was her love and resolve. And so the other witches offered their gifts in turn, marvels as rare as any in the cosmos. Together, they sought to test one of the fundamental laws of this world, in part to support a mother's love, and in part to sate their own curiosity. Oh, and I almost forgot. Our new guests came bearing blessings of their own. Who knows? Perhaps this extra dash of wisdom might be all the little dragon needs to change his fate.
Looks like we've completed this chapter, too. Those witches in the story were the mages of the Hexen Circle, right? They sure seem to care a lot about you, Durin. But, Paimon kinda had trouble following their conversation. Just a bunch of mystery, as usual.
The evil dragon's fate.
Oh, is that what you're worried about? But didn't we already take care of that?
Ah, the mages must have had a hand in that, too. Also, I was just thinking, which part of the story are we even meant to be completing?
Oh, It feels less like we're filling in the gaps and more like we're adding something new altogether. But we use the ink, right? And the book hasn't given us any more clues, so that must mean our task is complete. At least for now.
Yeah, I guess we're doing something right. Maybe I'm overthinking things. It's just... this is my mother's final wish, so I don't want to mess it up. Anyway, thanks for all your help. I'll let you know as soon as the book reveals a hint about the next chapter.
Okay then. See you in the next chapter.
Some say the god of fate calls the outcome of every dice roll before it's even made. And that's why the secret to winning a lot of games is having that god on your side.
Your luck is amazing, Kaya.
Your turn. Give it another shot.
Fear not, O Crimson Dragonborn, for I, the Princess of Ertelung, have bestowed upon you the benediction of the midnight hour, and with it you shall surely smite this usurper.
Mein Fräulein means to say she's rooting for you in secret. Oh, and that you must, at all cost, defeat the one who snatched her limited edition card back.
I'm not too sure if that counts as good luck or bad.
'Tis not but the perfidious machinations of fate.
Hey, everyone! Mr. Honorary Knight and Paimon! You're back!
It's good to see you, Honorary Knight. Mein Fräulein is quite invested in the outcome of this match, so please, allow me to extend greetings on her behalf.
Of course. But if you're out playing cards, how come you're not over at the Cat's Tail?
There's something about our horned friend over there that seems to frighten off little animals. Could be because he used to be a dragon. Normally, the animals just steer clear of him, but in the close confines of the Cat's Tail, let's just say, the feline residents probably consider it their turf. And we all know how dangerous a cornered cat can be.
I just wanted to borrow one of their nests for a nap.
One of their nests? Wait, you mean a cat sofa?
Yeah, it's more comfortable for me. I can stretch out just the way I like. But it turns out the Black Cat and his minions are quite territorial. Luckily, Miss Diona helped smooth things over, and they finally agreed to let me use one. But, I only get to use it after dark.
Oh, Diona stepped in! You know, underneath it all, she really does like helping people.
The more likely reason is because Durin won't touch a drop of alcohol. As far as Diona's concerned, that pretty much makes them two peas in a pod. It's a shame, really, considering everything Mondstadt has to offer in that regard.
Mondstadt's alcoholic drinks are a bit too much for me to handle right now. But maybe someday.
There's no need to force it. Who says you have to drink just because you're in Mondstadt?
Yeah, it's just... I'd really like to make some more friends, so I need to learn how humans socialize. I guess alcohol is usually involved, though. But that's why I started learning how to play Genius Invocation TCG. It's also a kind of social activity, but it doesn't involve drinking. And I've been lucky enough to receive the guidance of the Prinzessin de Verurteilung herself.
Exactly! Who needs alcohol when you can make friends playing card games? Speaking of which, need any tips from the master over here? You'll wipe the floor with that opponent of yours. Paimon guarantees it.
Unfortunately, with the luck he's having, not even that legendary card master from Sumeru could turn things around at this point.
Yeah, that last roll wasn't great. But who knows? Maybe you'll have better luck next time?
He keeps getting the exact same roll over and over. This is the third time already. If there really is a god of fate, they could have cut this kid a bit of slack. Like, I don't know, make it possible for him to roll at least one other side of the dice?
I think I've lost.
Must even a dragonborn, sanctified by the power of benediction, succumb to fate's insidious snares?
Don't be sad, Durin. You'll definitely win the next round. You can even borrow Todoko if you want. Mom says she brings good luck.
Thanks, Klee, but there's something more important I need to take care of now.
Oh, okay. So, the book's given us another hint, right?
Yep, and I think I've guessed where we're headed this time. Come on, follow me.
In what sort of castle might a storybook dragon dwell? The witch turned to a mighty dragon born upon the wind to seek her answer. From afar, she beheld a solitary castle, standing lonely beneath its wings, and wrote it into words. Its walls kept out the wind and rain, yet also cast a solemn shadow. Enveloped by their shade, the story's boughs were lulled into a torpid slumber and reached no further skyward.
So that's the clue. I think we're meant to find a place where dragons live, and this time, in the real world. I asked around, and it just so happens that there's a place like that in Mondstadt.
Yep, that checks out.
I've heard that the dragon here is called Dvalin, and that he's a magnificent creature. I hope I get the chance to meet him.
Wait a second. Do you think having the two of them meet is the best idea? You know, considering everything that happened in the past? How would we even explain everything to him? Well, if we do run into Dvalin, it should turn out okay with us there at least.
Is something wrong?
Nope. Let's go!
So, this is where Dvalin lives?
Yeah, right into the middle of a raging storm.
If you're afraid of getting blown away, Paimon, you can always hang onto my sleeve.
This isn't Paimon's first rodeo. Come on, let's get going!
The little dragon grew with each passing day, and the story witch, who loved him dearly, built him a big, beautiful castle. Yet in the end, she herself succumbed to time's merciless march, setting forth on a journey to a place beyond even the stars. All of a sudden, the little dragon found himself alone. He tried leaving the castle to make some new friends. But already he had grown the claws and scales of an evil dragon, just as the prophecy had foretold. Afraid he might hurt someone, the gentle little dragon hid within the castle his mother had built, and came forth no more.
in the story world. And from the sounds of it, this chapter must be about Simulanka, right?
Yeah, like the fairy from the Forest of Blessings, the king of Constellation Metropole, that cat lady who turns into a box.
Ah, yep. That would be Nilu, Navia, and Kirara.
Oh, and there's Hat Guy, too. Only lately, whenever I see Hat Guy, I get this strange feeling.
What kind of feeling?
It's like there's something on his mind. He hasn't told me what it is, but I can sense it all the same.
Well, he's always been kind of broody.
I guess I should focus on fulfilling my mother's final wish for now, though.
Yeah, we should get started on this chapter. So, let's track you down and free you from fate's curse once again.
That day, a small band of adventurers suddenly arrived beneath the castle walls. They promised to help the little dragon cast off the curse of fate. Yet as they stood beneath the castle walls, it appeared they had no idea how to even begin.
Hey! Instead of making fun of us, how about giving us a hint?
The little dragon had shut himself inside the tall tower at the castle's center. Anyone who wished to reach him must traverse the barriers that wall off his heart, for there is no other way.
Looks like we're in for another long one.
Let me try something.
Ooh, do you have an idea?
If that little dragon in the tower used to be me, then surely I'd know how he shuts people out better than anyone. Come on, follow me.
Come on, Durin, or, little story dragon, just calm down.
Stay back! I don't want to hurt you!
Loneliness and fear had built a cage around his heart, shutting out all who would look upon him. And thus, all the adventurers could see was his shadow.
Don't worry, we can help you!
Don't come any closer!
And that was the last the little dragon spoke.
Oh, how are we supposed to persuade him if he won't even talk to us?
This really could have been how my story ended, huh? Back in Simulanka, I was no different. But even though I kept shutting everyone out, deep down I hoped someone would be strong enough to face my power and break through to me. And that's exactly what you all did. I wouldn't be standing here today without you.
Despite the little dragon's silence, once more the story witch put pen to paper, and a miracle came to pass. The flying squirrel fairy, the giraffe king, and Catbox Lady arrived at the tower where the little dragon was hiding. But this time, guided by the miracle's light, they were able to traverse the shadows with ease. Unafraid of the little dragon's claws and scales, they came to be his friends, just as he had hoped.
Nilu, Navia, and Kirara?
It's my friends from Simulanka.
Hi, little dragon. I'm the Flying Squirrel Fairy, and I'm here to help you lift your curse. Will you talk to me?
And I'm the Giraffe King. Don't be afraid, little one. We're not afraid of you.
I'm just a cat in a box, but I'd very much like to be your friend too.
These are my friends?
Yeah, they're your friends in the future you've been trying to avoid. I can promise you that. They're reaching out, so you just have to ask yourself one question. Do you accept?
After a long silence, heavy footsteps echoed from the tower's shadows, but still, the one who made them refused to step forward. Though the cage to his heart had been unlocked, the little dragon remained ashamed of his claws and scales.
How can I face my friends like this?
Don't worry, little dragon. We're gonna offer up our blessings and make a wish to the goddess of fate to release you from your curse.
Yeah, just like last time.
Make a wish? To the goddess of fate?
At that moment, the merry witch made her entrance.
Hello, little one. Don't be afraid. With the blessings of your friends, your wish shall be granted.
Alice? Wait, you're the merry witch from the story?
Correct. It is I, the merry witch, creator goddess of this realm. And it just so happens the goddess of fate is none other than my dear friend, the story witch. I'm here to make good on my promise to lend her my second strongest spell. With this spell, she'll have the power to create an entire world. So naturally, granting your wish won't be a problem. Provided, of course, you receive your friend's blessings. But before we proceed, I must check something on her behalf. Little dragon, do you accept this blessing?
I want to be your friend. So if you're offering, then yes, I would love to have your blessings.
Were it not for the adventurer's blessings, this tale might have ended long ago. Thanks to them, another ending was now possible. Yet in that moment, they did not know if this blessing was truly a gift or just another trial in disguise.
What? You didn't say a word when we actually needed a clue, but now at a critical moment like this, you turn up and start playing mind games?
Another trial. Ha, that actually sounds about right. Be it the fictional problems of Simulanka or unavoidable conflicts in the real world, if you think about it, that's what they've been all along. But if it wasn't for those trials, I never would have met any of you. So, despite all that, I'd still like to give my blessings.
That's the spirit! Come on, Durin! Let's help you make your wish come true again!
On behalf of both my past and present selves, thank you, my friends.
Fortunately, a brave band of adventurers heard tell of the little dragon's story. Determined to lift his curse, they fought their way through countless trials. To help him, they offered up their blessings and made a wish to the goddess of fate. At last, their wish was granted. Shaking off his scales, the little dragon stepped out of the tower's gloom. But his time in the world beyond the castle would soon teach him this gift would bring blessings and trials of its own. And as far as the little dragon was concerned, the tricks of fate had just begun.
So, Durin's wish came true, just like it did before.
If this story was written by my mother, then surely that was the last chapter we just completed.
Oh yeah! So, in other words, we finished it! Looks like that's a wrap on Alice's task, and there's even some ink to spare. Guess we'll have to wait for her to make contact, like she said.
So, my mother's final story has finally come to a close.
Sounds like you're a little sad to see it end.
Back when I was still living in Simulanka, I was always under the illusion that my mother had never truly left. Every day I spent immersed in that world, It felt like she was right there by my side, still reading me bedtime stories. But now...
Durin! That's right! And you've got so many other friends waiting for you back in Mondstadt!
Yeah.
Speaking of which, after all that flying around, Paimon's starting to feel hungry again. So, why don't we head back to Mondstadt? Perfect excuse for a big meal with the rest of the gang. Now that you've fulfilled your mom's final wish, a little celebration seems in order, right?
It's just a pity we never got to see that big, beautiful dragon.
You were really looking forward to meeting him, huh? He might not be here all the time, but Paimon's sure you'll get a chance at some point.
All right, no worries. Anyway, since this feast is to celebrate me fulfilling my mother's final wish, I guess it should be my little treat. Pretty sure that's how humans do it, right?
Nuh-uh. This one's on the Traveler and Paimon. Celebrating each other's achievements is what friends are for.
Honestly, when it comes to who treats who, human rules are so complicated.
See? He wants to be friends with you too. But the moment hasn't come. At least not yet. In any case, the story should have a better ending this time, don't you think?
So, your adventure was a success, huh? Want to grab a drink to celebrate?
Absolutely not. No booze allowed. Mr. Honorary Knight, Durin, I want to hear all about your big adventure. We're gonna order a big meal for everybody first. We'll talk while we eat. Yippee!
Excuse me, did I hear you call him Durin just now? But wasn't Durin the evil dragon that fell on Dragonspine?
Come on, miss! This Durin isn't that evil dragon from Dragonspine. Albedo said... well, it was kinda confusing. But anyway, it's super cool. Oh, is this your first time meeting him, Marjorie? No wonder you're getting him confused.
Still, even if you hadn't met him yet, shouldn't you have heard about him at the very least? At this point, pretty much the whole city has.
Why is everyone...
So, what exactly is his connection with the evil dragon?
Wait, but those horns on his head... Surely he's not a...
Did everyone just forget about Durin?
No, that can't be.
The tricks of fate had just begun.
Watch out!
No one got hurt. Did they?
Durin! Durin!
I just had Barbara check him over. He's not badly hurt, but he seems to have burned through a lot of energy fending off some kind of dangerous power. He'll need some time to rest before he wakes up.
So, can someone explain what's going on here?
It seems like, aside from Durin's close acquaintances, The people of Mondstadt have forgotten everything about him.
How could that even happen?
Worse still, the abyssal power within him is showing signs of extreme instability. Could be a separate issue, though. I'm not sure.
If the abyssal power inside him spirals out of control, Mondstadt will be in grave danger.
I completely agree.
All right then. As acting Grand Master, I'll send a letter requesting Albedo's immediate return. Until then, the Knights will watch over Durin.
That's pretty much all we can do right now.
Also, allow me to look after this book for now. If you need to consult it, just drop by my office.
Do you think the book might have something to do with what's happening? It's just weird that Alice still hasn't contacted us. Maybe we should head back inside the book and take another look. Jean!
Hello, you two. I'm glad you got my letter. Durin's awake and waiting on the bench over there. I'm here if you need help. Just give me a shout.
Don't worry about us. We'll be fine.
Oh, hey, you two. I just remembered what happened right before I passed out. Thanks for holding me back. I shudder to think what might have happened if you hadn't. I'm fine now. It's just... a lot of people seem to have forgotten me.
Don't worry. We'll figure out a way to fix this. Why don't you start by telling us what happened?
It felt so strange. After I realized no one recognized me anymore, I suddenly felt like I'd completely lost contact with my body. Abyssal power lies sealed within this body I inhabit. So when I lost my connection to it, I lost control of that power too. It wasn't until I heard everyone calling my name that I was able to reconnect with my body.
You lost contact with your body? Does that mean there's something wrong with it? Sounds like we need Albedo more than ever.
I don't think the problem lies in Albedo's alchemy.
Huh. Then why are people forgetting you? Guess that's what we need to figure out. That means we need Alice for sure. But it's been ages and she still hasn't been in contact. Now would be a really good time for a hint.
How could the story's budding branches even hope to reach beyond the towering walls? Leaving the castle, the witch went off in search of the tallest, grandest tree in the whole world. High up in the canopy of that tree, she sought a resting place, a refuge where the little sapling might take root. Go to that place, for it was there that the sapling felt its first breath of wind.
Huh? Was that another clue? Does that mean the story isn't over yet?
Leaving the castle. It just occurred to me. If this story is all about my own experiences, then wouldn't what happened after I left Simulanka be part of it too?
But how could she possibly know exactly what would happen? And even if she did, how could we know when the story was complete? Yeah. Since we can't reach Alice right now, we'll just have to get to the bottom of this ourselves. But first, we gotta figure out where this riddle wants us to go.
The tallest, grandest tree in the whole wide world. Huh. The only place that ever gave me that feeling was the one I ended up in right after leaving Simulanka. They had great coffee there, too. And so many books you'd never run out of things to read. Think about it. Our search in Mondstadt began in a library, right? Well, Sumeru City's got one of those, too. And it's absolutely huge. What do you say? Should we try looking there?
Huh. That does kind of make sense. And like Paimon's got a better idea. Alright, let's just give Jean and the others a heads up first.
Well, it sounds like you've got a plan, so I won't interfere. All I ask is that you stay safe. Albedo won't be back for some time, and until he is, we can't know for sure how dangerous Durin might be in his current state.
I'm so sorry about what happened before.
Believe me, I'm not blaming you, and neither is anyone else here. If anything, it's the opposite. We're all just worried about you.
Worried? About me?
Come with me. I want to show you something. As soon as they heard you were awake, they all hurried over to see how you were doing.
You all came to see me?
A little birdie told me you're working on finishing a storybook. So maybe all those people losing their memories is just a plot twist, waiting to be resolved.
Miss Lisa, you always seem to know how to put my mind at ease. Please, everyone, don't worry about me. When I get back, I'll find a way to complete my mother's story, and the one we started, too.
Whew. After the library hunt in Mondstadt, it's not as if Paimon was expecting this to be easy. But this... yeah... this is something else.
Where do we even begin?
Even the clue this time seemed kind of cryptic. Yeah. Guess the best we can do is stay on the lookout for more weird things going on. Huh?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm here to return Volume 5.
According to the catalog, Volume 5 of this series is not available for loan. I can't accept the return of a book that was never checked out in the first place.
Let me put it this way. My copy is complete. Yours, on the other hand, is missing large amounts of content. So you should swap it for mine instead.
Sir, you have to understand. Managing a library is a serious business, and we have protocols in place for this kind of thing. I can't just replace an important volume in our collection based on nothing more than your word.
Hey! Look what the Wandering Tom dragged in!
Oh, it's you.
And, what is it you're doing here?
I'm a traveling scholar, as you know. Isn't a library the most natural place for me to be?
Well, the last time we saw you was all the way in Notcry. Paimon just didn't expect to suddenly see you in Sumeru, that's all.
There were some things I needed to come back and take care of. Some documents had gone missing, so I tracked them down, restored them to their original condition. And now, I'm here to return them. And considering what I'm planning to do next, it feels like a weight off my shoulders. What's going on with you, huh? You look like a kicked puppy.
Hat guy. Ah, at least you haven't forgotten about me.
What's that supposed to mean? So it's been getting worse.
Sounds like you know something we don't.
After he left Similanka, he spent some time traveling Sumeru with me. I was working on several texts at the time, and I stumbled upon something strange. Anytime Durin of Similanka was mentioned, before long, the record would disappear. Which means, all the remaining records on Durin are about the evil dragon that fell on Dragonspine.
How did you even discover that?
If I remember correctly, Hat Guy loved the time he spent in Similanka so much that he started writing a travel log.
That's besides the point. The fact is, you're not affected by the ley lines of this world. I'm sure you can grasp the implications of what that means. His case is different from mine. It's more like the world itself refuses to accept his existence. It started with a few written records, but now, it sounds like it's spread to people who never met him or didn't know him well. At this rate, the whole world might forget him altogether.
The whole world? But that includes all my friends in Mondstadt, and even Hat Guy, too. So that's what you've been worried about all this time? Why didn't you just tell me?
There are more important questions right now, like figuring out how to fix this. That mage clearly cared a lot about her child. She left that book behind for a reason. If you want answers, isn't that the place to find them?
You think that didn't occur to us already? Problem is, we need to find the memory that unlocks the next chapter first.
Mind if I take a look? I just want to know what secrets this book is hiding. Besides, I've run into a bit of red tape, so I've got time.
Of course. Be my guest.
So, the memory we've been looking for was about you all along?
The little dragon became companions with a stray cat with dark blue fur. It was a friendship born of all they had in common. He left his castle at the stray's invitation, setting out to explore the world beyond its walls. There, he grew fond of the outside world, eager to make friends and share the story of his life. Taken by the dragon's story, the stray tried to write it down. But he soon realized that no matter how he tried, it would always warp into the evil dragon's tale.
So, this is the world where this chapter takes place? Looks like we're at the top of some kind of gigantic tree.
This one must be about what happened to me when I first arrived in Teyvat. No wonder the memory that unlocked it was about Hat Guy. Most of my memories from that period were.
Hold on. Anyone want to explain how I ended up looking like this?
Maybe you've become a character in the story too.
You see me as a stray cat?
A wandering Tom, to be exact. You should count yourself lucky. Of all Durin's friends, your character is by far the most memorable.
Maybe it's because I've known Hat Guy for longer, so my impression of him is more vivid than the others.
Vivid? Then how come you haven't changed one bit?
Guess that means the impression the Traveler left was so vivid, it didn't need changing.
Hello, everyone! Ready for today's adventure?
It's the storybook, Durin!
Oh. So you're not playing yourself in this one? Does that mean the two of you have even more memorable roles to play?
Where are we going today, kitty cat?
Whatever. Just follow me. Same as always.
Okie dokie! Can we chat along the way?
If you have something to say, just say it.
Was that seriously how the two of you communicated when you first got here?
Yep.
Anyway, how do we get ourselves out of here?
Usually, the narrator gives hints to help us figure out what to do. Speaking of which, about time we got some of those, don't you think?
The story's vines had woven themselves together into a giant tree, the boughs of which a little storyless dragon now paced, homeless among its leaves. He had to find a way to leave this place and set off in search of a home of his own. if he stayed, the world would erase him from its memory altogether.
To leave this place? But where am I supposed to go?
The little dragon felt completely lost. Just like the vines, the road ahead branched off into different directions, twisting and turning before disappearing into the mist. But as luck would have it, a prophetess waited up ahead. Perhaps she might know where each path might take him.
Oh, you must be the little lost dragon.
It's true. My friends and I are lost.
This meeting was no accident. The prophetess was in fact the seer witch, here to present her promised gift.
The seer witch? Oh yeah! That's Mona's teacher, right? The old hag?
Insolent child. I am the seer witch, your prophetess, not some old hag.
Sorry!
Now, little lost dragon, I have come to bestow the gift I once promised. A prophecy.
A prophecy?
Hear me now, for my prophecy is this. One day, the dragon from beyond the castle shall be reborn, and none may avert its coming.
The wind took the prophecy and swept it off into the distance. And so, the little dragon was shown a path to wander.
As far as I remember, once that alchemist from Mondstadt learned about the prophecy, he chose to stand with you against the evil dragon. So, what does any of this have to do with you being forgotten?
Oh, wise witch of prophecy! Could we trouble you with another question?
As enigmatic as she was elegant, the seer witch spoke no more, for her thoughts had long since returned to the starry firmament above.
Ugh! Just when we actually needed her!
The seer witch was my mother's friend, so the prophecy she just gave should turn out to be helpful.
Well, it's not like we've got better options. But if all we need to do is leave this place, which path should we take?
Why don't we take a look around?
If we go this way, we'll be heading back to Mondstadt, just like we planned. Out of all the options so far, this seems like the safest, right? At least we know what happens next.
He helps stop the evil dragon from returning, gets a new body, makes a whole bunch of friends, who all just forget about him.
But you didn't forget, Hat Guy.
I'm just saying, choosing this path wouldn't solve the main problem. You'd still end up being forgotten.
Huh.
I'm not against choosing this path. I just wonder what secrets it might be hiding.
Let me think about it.
Unable to preserve his story, the little dragon wandered astray. Fortunately for him, a certain prophetess had left behind a prophecy to guide him. The wind took the prophecy and swept it off into the distance, and so the little dragon was shown a path to wander. Following the wind's guidance, the little dragon made his escape. In turn, the prophetess affirmed the little dragon's choice, leaving an extra secret as her parting gift.
Now that you've made up your mind, I shall keep my promise by explaining fate's little trick. Long, long ago, the gods of the high heavens gave the world outside the castle a magic of its own. They called it storytelling. It was a magic of almost unshakable power that governed how people met, grew close, and understood one another. Each person had a story meant for them and them alone. One whose ending was written in the heavens long ago. In truth, your story and the evil dragons are simply two versions of the same tale, and that is something the magic of storytelling cannot abide. Beyond the castle's walls, your story cannot take root, for the evil dragon's tale has done so already.
So, that was the secret?
Huh.
But what does that mean?
You still don't get it? Simulanka Durin and Tevat Durin share a special kind of connection. Their fates are mirror images of one another. While they were in two separate worlds, there may have been some mutual influence, but their fates were independent. But when Simulanka Durin came to Tevat, a version of his fate already existed there. So, how can two fates exist at the same time? The answer is, they can't. The rules of this world don't allow it. You can't return a book you never checked out in the first place.
So, what's Durin supposed to do?
Those mages seem to have come up with quite the ingenious solution. I'm here to make a return.
As I said, there's no record of Volume 5 of this series ever being checked out.
Then just think of this as Volume 6. Based on what I know, the author was planning on publishing another volume anyway.
The catalog does have a slot reserved for Volume 6. So, this is it?
Sure, let's go with that. All you need to know is, I'll be the one writing this series from now on.
You...
What are you up to this time?
Remember the red tape I mentioned before? Well, I just took care of it. Now, I guess you'll be off to see your alchemist friend? It should be pretty obvious by now. He has the answers you're looking for.
Well, we do have a whole bunch of things to confirm with Albedo, that's for sure. But didn't Jean say he'd be gone for quite a while?
I'll join you. Just let me know when it's time to go.
Hat guy?
Don't sound so surprised. I'm part of this story too, aren't I? I'm just playing my role.
Well, yeah. But it's not that. I just feel like you want to help, but something's holding you back.
When I first realized you were being forgotten by the world, I thought it might be because you spent too much time with me. I even thought cutting our ties might be the only way to fix it.
Why would you think that?
It doesn't matter now. Judging from the answer this book has given us, I was probably overthinking it. Just as well, with the ley lines rejecting him like this, the people who still remember him are his only remaining connection to this place. If that last fragile tie was broken, who can say what devastation his unbound body might unleash? And to think I'm one of the people keeping you here, instrumental in helping change your fate. Can't say I saw it coming.
Well, if it's good enough for Hat Guy, it's good enough for me. After all, he is about as odd as humans get.
Excuse me?
With some people, Even if you try asking a simple question, they'll always give you a complicated answer. And the more you ask, the more complicated it gets. Truth is, Hat Guy's just that kind of guy.
Whatever. All I needed was a yes or no, so we can quit it with all the back and forth. So this is the other Durin, huh? If this had been the dragon that ended up being revived in Mondstadt, there's no telling what kind of calamity that people would have had to endure. So, if you think about it like that, Durin's actually a hero. No, I'm just a little envious, that's all. Not everyone gets a chance to be a hero.
Actually, most of the credit belongs to Albedo.
Then again, barely anyone even remembers you at this point. So I guess there's not much left to envy.
Ah, so you three still remember Durin. Looks like the memory loss hasn't spread to close friends. Yet. I guess that means my memory of you must still be complete as well.
Albedo.
You're finally here! Oh, boy, do we have a whole pile of questions for you!
Oh, you're here too?
I think I've pieced together some of what happened to him. But what's your take on things?
Master Jean filled me in on what happened, and I've got a few theories. But let's get on the same page first. Well, physically, he's doing fine. His body is holding the abyssal power at bay. And there's nothing whatsoever to indicate any risk of collapse.
So, from an alchemy point of view, there's nothing wrong with him?
The issue isn't so much that the abyssal power within him has gotten out of control. It's that the connection between his will and body is fading. If he ends up losing his conscious will, his body will fall back on its biological instincts. And that's when the abyssal power within it will take over. This book mentioned a witches' gathering. It seems like quite a few of these witches got themselves involved in Durin's case. Which brings me to my theory. Bringing Fairy Tale Durin into this world to replace the Durin on Dragonspine means using one Durin's fate to overwrite the others. But the power of alchemy alone would not be enough to pull off such a feat. It would have required the combined use of Miss Barbeloff's astrology, my teacher's alchemy, and Aunt Alice's magic. After learning of Miss Barbeloff's prophecy, Durin and I finally came up with a way to settle the Dragonspine Durin problem for good. And I took care of the alchemy side of things, which, looking back on it, seems to have been a part of their plan all along. So now, there's only one thing missing. As for the fate theory our friend in the hat just mentioned, I still can't figure out how any kind of magic could possibly influence the fate of Tevat. But I'm certain that the answer lies within this book.
So, the reason Alice had us complete this book was to make that magic possible?
A form of magic powerful enough to rewrite fate itself.
Well, we've no time to lose. I just need to take a look at the book. The next part of the story most likely relates to me. So the memory that unlocks it must be connected to me too.
Huh?
The giant tree was home to a broken branch, the shape of its splintered arm aligning perfectly with the branch that had burst forth from the castle walls. Join yourself to that broken bough, for there you may take root at last, and henceforth bask in the sun and rain of the world beyond the castle. But first, fetch the stickiest clay and let it bind the scar of the break.
I see.
Guided by the breeze, the little dragon arrived at an alchemist's workshop. There he was greeted by a clay figure, a child molded by the sage witch's hands. Though gentle in appearance, he had inherited his mother's cold, sharp wisdom. And he was determined to avert the calamity the evil dragon would bring, and so was his helper, none other than the little dragon himself.
What is this place?
It looks like it's modeled after an alchemist's workshop. Or rather, a cliched stereotype of one.
Albedo?
Hold on. Why do I look like this?
Oh, yeah! We forgot to tell you. Basically, the characters in the story are reflections of how Durin sees them.
At least you're still human-shaped?
Well, since Cat Guy has taken on a different appearance too, that must mean the two of us are both characters in the story. But you, Paimon, and Durin haven't changed at all. You must be special figures in some way.
I'd like to know more about that too. But seeing as none of them can explain it, let's just concentrate on moving the plot forward.
And just like that, the group stumbled upon a hidden passageway. Intricately crafted, it seemed to lead them towards another exciting chapter of the tale.
Come on! What are we waiting for? Next chapter, here we come! Ouch!
But this was a chapter that had not yet been written. Ahead of them was a storyless void, and they could go no further.
What? Then what's the point of having a path here? Sounds like a pretty bad habit for a writer.
Over here. I found something.
What the clay figure found was none other than the evil dragon's heart itself. Though the creature had perished long ago, its heart was still there, pulsing away and growing warmer with every beat. And the clay alchemist knew what it meant. That the evil dragon would return one day, just as the prophecy had foretold. Yet, guided by his mother's wisdom, he foresaw another fate. If only the alchemist could bestow this heart upon the little dragon, he might be reborn in the evil dragon's stead. Only then would the evil dragon's heart grow still, and the little one inherit its tale.
Sounds like this chapter's about Albedo bringing me to life?
If that really was the solution, though, this would have been over the minute I finished the transmutation. So why is Durin still being forgotten?
There has to be some other reason.
Yeah, I'd like to explore the area a bit more. There you are.
Oh! Hello there!
Hey! It's Mini Durin again! What are you doing holed up in here?
I was worried I'd scare everyone off, so I've been hiding out here all this time.
You must be really nervous, huh?
I guess I am a little nervous, but I'm also excited. I'm gonna get to stop the evil dragon and even become a human. It's all thanks to that clay man. He's the one who talked me into it. And once I'm a human, I'll be able to make loads of friends and do tons of important things.
You'll make lots of friends, that's for sure, and go on many unforgettable adventures.
I'm so glad to hear it. The only thing is, the clay man said becoming human isn't gonna be easy. So I'm feeling a little anxious too.
He's right about that. Even if you manage to become a human, there will always be tougher challenges on the road ahead.
Really?
But even so, your friends will be there to help you.
Oh? Then I'm not afraid.
Funny, isn't it? After talking to you, I'm not afraid anymore either. So, are you ready now?
Yep, I'm ready to become a human.
What the clay figure found was none other than the evil dragon's heart itself. Though the creature had perished long ago, its heart was still there, pulsing away and growing warmer with every beat. And the clay alchemist knew what it meant. That the evil dragon would return one day, just as the prophecy had foretold. Yet, guided by his mother's wisdom, he foresaw another fate. If only the alchemist could bestow this heart upon the little dragon, he might be reborn in the evil dragon's stead. Only then would the evil dragon's heart grow still, and the little one inherit its tale. At last, the little dragon accepted the evil dragon's heart, and a new life came into being. The evil dragon's heart beat in his chest, and the little dragon's soul guided him forward. Thus did the prophecy hold true, even as fate had been rewritten. And so was the little dragon born anew.
Finally! A happy ending! That must be the last step, right? Woohoo! We completed the story!
Born anew, the little dragon set off once more, his story far from over.
Huh? So, that wasn't the end?
What comes next might be the most crucial part of all. The real last step.
If fate really is as devious as they say, then I say, show us what you've got.
Wow! You're all so serious all of a sudden. Durin, are you alright?
The evil dragon's heart was now one with the little dragon, yet the dark power within it still lingered. Would the little dragon dare to hold this power back, or would he simply give in?
Hey! What kind of question is that? Of course he's gonna control it! What choice does he have?
Time is running out. So, would the little dragon dare to hold this power back, or would he simply give in?
What's up with the narrator? What's going on here? Why isn't the story letting Durin just suppress the abyssal power? It keeps getting stuck.
It seems the act of suppressing the power counts as an event in the story. In other words, we would need ink to write it in.
So, what now? Did we use too much earlier? How are we supposed to write a happy ending with only this much left?
Well, this is Durin's story. As long as he's alive and well, why should it end?
If there really is such a direct correlation between the story and his fate, I may have a potential hypothesis. Durin was, and still is in essence, a storybook character, written into being by M. From the moment he was born, he has always dwelt within her story. And I suspect that has remained the case, even after his arrival in Tevat. Reviving Durin in the evil dragon's place was an act of grafting this Durin story onto the latter's fate. In essence, that is how his fate was rewritten. But there is a fundamental difference between a being's story and its fate. As Miss Barbeloth reminded us, the fate of every living being in Tevat has been woven into the fabric of time. Its most natural path, therefore, is to proceed along its given track. But Durin's story, on the other hand... As Durin's connection to this world wore thin, not only have people started to forget him, he started to lose control of the abyssal power within. In other words, his story can't continue, because the author's ink is drying up. That's what it seems like to me.
It would seem the little dragon had made a group of fine friends indeed.
Save it. The question is, are you here to help him, or stand in his way?
This is as far as the story can go. What path will you choose?
I suppose the final decision is up to me. It's hard to believe I never actually left my mother's story. If that's true, I'd like to go there and see for myself.
By there, I take it you mean the blank pages of the unwritten chapter ahead?
But we still don't even know how Alice's magic works. If Durin belongs inside the story, then going outside of it to some unwritten part, isn't that too risky?
I'm not afraid.
I second that. It would seem this is one answer you need to go seize for yourself.
So be it. Whatever obstacles stand in your way, we'll tear them down together.
Gotta keep going.
Lies only a storyless void.
My consciousness is slipping away.
Keep going, Durin. A pure soul is your essence, not an empty void.
I feel so weak.
Stand tall, Durin. You are not some amorphous idea. The body I made for you is flesh and bone.
Am I truly alive?
Yes, Durin, but you must keep going. You're as alive and real as I am.
Silence, huh? Have you nothing to say about my proposal?
Let me get this straight. You want to graft your story onto this unfinished thread of fate, and in doing so, not only rewrite that fate, but allow the story to live on.
Quite the brilliant idea. Still, the story's survival depends entirely on whether the author keeps writing.
Exactly. And the moment foretold by the prophecy is still centuries away.
I see. I thought my own ignorance might be the problem. That I'd asked more of the noble science of alchemy than it could ever deliver. Or that I had failed to discern the heavenly signs and grasp the secret truth underlying the prophecy. Little did I imagine that time itself would prove to be the greatest hurdle of all.
Well, my friend, this has been a most intriguing experiment. And from an academic perspective, at least, I don't think it was a bad proposal.
Someday, the prophecy will come to pass. So remember, my friend, much like the stars themselves, there will always be something that transcends the test of time.
Thank you, everyone. You've helped me so much already. But, Alice, I still have one final favor to ask of you. Will you lend me your magic one last time, just enough for me to keep his story alive until the prophecy is fulfilled?
You mean you want me to extend your lifespan?
No, not in that sense. As Rheindotter once told me, the laws governing life and death are among the most unyielding in this world. I'm well aware of that. Whether it lasts a day or an age, the span of one's life is determined by fate alone. If I tried to breach that law by force, I'm afraid I would lose what makes me human. This is not a path I want to go down. If I am to die, then I shall die a human.
So what is it that you want me to do?
I would like you to send this pen of mine into the future.
I see. Then perhaps there really is a way I can help. I could create a kind of story magic to take over the writing once you're gone. Oh, but for it to work, you would need to provide enough of your own words for it to learn from.
How much?
Oh, an immense amount. So much, in fact, that you would have to spend the rest of your life writing. And even then, I'm sorry to say, it would not last forever. No matter how much you write, there is a limit to the number of words you can leave behind. But the world itself will never stop changing. Someday, perhaps, even your entire corpus will not be enough for the magic to continue describing this world. And when that happens, the story will end.
Still, it's worth a try.
Oh, my dear Anya. Even after all this time, you're still... Look at you. You should be enjoying your old age in peace and quiet, especially now that things are finally returning to normal after that terrible calamity.
Once he leaves Simulanka, things will only get more complicated. If his story is to continue, there needs to be more material for the magic to draw upon. I'll just have to skip over some of the less important details.
Anya, why do you insist on sending him out of the storybook world? Why must he face his fate in Tibet? Why not just let him remain within the story? With my magic, even fate's curse could be undone and he could live happily ever after.
I suppose. In fairy tales, all it takes is a heartfelt wish. And even a wooden puppet can turn himself into a real boy and live happily ever after. That's just how fairy tales end, isn't it? But have you ever wondered what happens to the main character after the ever after? Tell me, Alice, in your eyes, what would be a writer's greatest regret?
To leave a story without an ending.
Not a bad answer. It's true, many writers come to consider that their greatest regret. But I see things differently. My greatest regret is that every story I write has to come to an end in the first place.
Anya.
No matter how brilliantly a character shines, the moment their story ends, their potential is lost forever. For them, the story itself becomes an inescapable fate. But what if, instead, I could place my pen in their hand and let them continue the story themselves?
You mean...
You said it yourself. I can only leave so many words behind. Even with your magic, the idea that I could keep the story going until the prophecy comes to pass is wishful thinking at best. But I found a way to use your magic to transform some of my finished stories into a special kind of ink. This ink is a magical medium he can use to complete the story the way he wants to. For what is storytelling but another kind of magic? And if he can experience the whole tale himself while leaving behind his own wishes and aspirations, even once he reaches the chapter where I stopped, he'll still be able to carry the story forward on his own. And so, by leaving him this ink, I can entrust him with the responsibility of writing his own story.
A character with the power to write their own story.
That way, he'll finally be free from the cage that is my pen. And like anyone else living in the real world, he can go on to create a life of his own.
And you no longer need to worry about the constraints of my magic. What a brilliant idea, Anya. But there are still risks. First of all, once he arrives in Teyvat, he'll have to rely entirely on the story you left him to maintain his connection to that world. As you gradually hand over creative control, that connection will grow weaker, and at some point, he might lose it altogether.
But at the same time, he'll also have the chance to forge that connection for himself.
The issue is, this method taps into too many of Teyvat's core secrets. Any overt hints you try to leave will be erased in no time. In fact, it'd be hard for you to leave anything at all to guide them.
We still have the story itself, though. I can use that to show them the way.
It's entirely possible he burns through all your ink, never reaches the chapter you had in mind, and gets stuck, roaming the chapters of his past. But despite all that,
I still believe in what this child can become. His hopes and wishes can be his ink, so he won't be trapped by mine running dry.
Oh, what the writer you are, Anya. Your imagination never ceases to amaze. And you do know how much I love a happy ending. You shall have my help, my dear.
Thank you, my friend. Well then, my child. Do you understand what you must do?
Yes, I think I do. It's my turn to keep this story alive.
Then what's holding you back?
What will become of you after I take up this pen?
I will fade away. There will no longer be a reason for me to go on existing. My child, or your mother, I should say, passed away long ago. The voice you're hearing is nothing but a magical echo that has now fulfilled its purpose. You needn't feel so reluctant to let me go.
I know my mother died long ago. It's just, when you lose your mom too soon, it's hard to tear yourself away from the stories she used to read. I guess it's a silly way of pretending she's still here, by your side.
Durin.
But after coming to this world and traveling it with my friends, facing all kinds of enemies together, I suddenly realized I couldn't just sit around listening to my mother's stories because I'd found a new purpose in life. Maybe this is just what growing up feels like. With all my new friends waiting, it's time I finally set aside my mother's storybook. I'm ready to grow up now, Mom.
Then take this. A gift I should have given you a long time ago. You've witnessed this story from the very beginning. Made your wishes, offered your blessings, and even wrote your choices into its pages. From here on out, this pen is yours. Now I ask of you, the other pillar of this story, as both its reader and its witness, will you turn the page so the next chapter can begin? Suddenly, and without warning, the powers of darkness struck. The question was, could the little dragon prevail? Alas, it was here that the story witch's tale had to end.
But Durin's tale, on the other hand, had only just begun. Stepping into his mother's memories, he picked up her pen. And so the story that was ending began anew. He had made up his mind to challenge the fate that barred the way ahead.
Looks like this is the final step.
A chance to strike back at fate? Now that's not something that comes knocking every day.
No, that fate no longer defines me. In the end, only my story shall endure. Thank you, Mom. And so it was that Durin defeated the darkness and rewrote his fate. But his story is far from over. Is everyone okay?
We're fine, thanks. And hey, we all saw how you fought back there. That was awesome!
I have to admit, I do feel like something in me has changed. I owe you all so much. Without your help, I don't know if I could have ever made it this far.
Just a shame I could only help out from the sidelines. Like I said before, it's not every day that you get to put fate in its place.
Well, I'm sure you'll hear it someday.
Hear what?
The chance to strike back at fate knocking at your door.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Allow me to just check one thing. Yes. The abyssal power within you has stabilized again. And those strange symptoms you were experiencing seem to have completely disappeared.
Oh, thank goodness!
I wonder what it means, though. Aside from the principles of alchemy, What other law of this world governs his being?
Look, it all turned out fine, so just leave it at that. Now that this one's out of danger, it's time for me to get out of here.
You're leaving so soon? Don't humans usually throw a party after something like this?
A party? Do I look like that kind of guy? Anyway, come find me again next time you're in trouble. That's what friends are for, right?
In a way, though, he is right. This is Durin's moment to celebrate, not the time for academic discussions.
Hey, I don't blame you for asking. And honestly, I'd be perfectly happy to talk about it. It's just, I wouldn't even know where to start.
It's all right. I'm sure we'll get a chance at some point. After all, your story's only just begun. All right then. Traveler and Paimon, we'll part ways here. Given the extraordinary nature of the things we witnessed today, I need to make sure it's all recorded properly.
Okay, see ya! So, it's party time next? Huh?
Congratulations on completing your mission. Now then, as per our agreement, it's about time you returned that book.
She must have known the moment we finished. Just like she said she would.
Oh, my writer and witness. It's been quite the journey, hasn't it?
You had special plans for the Traveler from the start, didn't you?
But of course, that goes without saying. For a story to live on, it needs both a writer and a reader. Only then can my magic take effect. I chose the Traveler as the witness because of the special nature of who he is. It's not easy finding someone with that kind of background, you know. For a moment, I even considered taking the role myself.
At least it made for an interesting story, right?
Huh? What are you doing here, tone-deaf bard?
With the Hexenzirkel carrying out such a risky experiment in Mondstadt, it didn't cross your minds that the Animo Archon might be slightly curious?
Sorry for the trouble, Lord Barbados.
Think nothing of it. I dare say the Animo Archon quite enjoyed coming along for the ride. And now then, as agreed, let us see the fruits of your labor.
Here, please take a look.
Well. Somehow, despite all my careful planning, it still turned out to be full of surprises. It never even crossed my mind that Rhindotter's child would be capable of handling that kind of alchemy in her stead. When he asked for help with the materials, oh my, I nearly couldn't believe it. If only the others were here too, we could all celebrate together.
I'm right here, you know. The only one who hasn't responded is the one busy stuffing her face over there.
Is that you, Barbie? A little late to the party, don't you think?
Come here, child. Let me take a closer look at you.
All right, Aunt Seer Witch. Here I am.
Just as I thought. This child's fate does not appear among the stars. Anya has accomplished what almost no one before her could.
What does that mean?
Child, all you need to know is that you're very lucky indeed.
Oh.
Just like how she was in the story, huh?
Tell me, little Durin, what will you do next? I, for one, cannot wait to see how your story unfolds.
Well, there's so much I want to do. I'm not even sure where to begin.
How about settling your most recent regret?
exactly did you just tell Durin to do?
To make the long overdue wish come true.
Thank you once again, Alice.
How much time do you have left?
I believe these should be my final moments. Just enough time to say goodbye to my dearest friend.
This feels like having to say our final goodbyes all over again. I don't like it. Not one bit.
I don't know how to respond to that. Strange. You were always such a cheerful figure in my stories. I even dubbed you the Merry Witch, you know.
Oh, please. You know full well it was your stories that first taught me what true pain and sadness felt like. Aside from saying goodbye to me, shouldn't you also leave a few words for the child? Since the book will be his to continue, why don't you write him a little parting note?
There's no need. His mother already did that long, long ago. All that remains is for me to convey it on her behalf. My child, these may be the last words I get to leave you. I've always thought of the characters in my stories as my children, loving each one of them, just like a mother would. But you are the most extraordinary of them all. You alone can defy the fate of this world and write the perfect ending to my story. You alone shall leave these pages for a future I will not see. Still I say to you, fly, my sweet child. Just like a forest breeze yearns for the open sky, head into the unknown and seek an adventure to call your own. If you meet a dragon bright as 1,000 jewels, dance through the air together. You are not alone, for this world has accepted your place in it. Do not lose heart. You still have many wishes left to fulfill. A long tale awaits you, my love. Let songs and flowers be the ink that fills its pages. Take my pen and use it to continue your story.